So welcome everybody. This is Jan Stringer and I'm here with Carrie Bell. Carrie, you want to say hi? Okay, the
Hello.
wave will work. And we're doing a impromptu introduction to our SACAT program today. We have a program starting tomorrow called Strategic Attraction Certification and Training. And so what we wanted to do is just tell you a little bit about who we are, what we're all about, what our work is all about, and see if there's anybody that is really up for creating something new in your business. And if that's you, then you came to the right place. So this is going to be probably a little bit shorter than it usually is because we don't have like a swarm of people flocking on, but we're probably going to be attracting a few more people. But I thought I would start with earlier today, Carrie Bell and I were on the phone and we were co-creating, getting ready for our class to start tomorrow. And Carrie, how many of our programs have you been in? Do you even know?
At least four.
At least four. Okay.
I'll check that out for tomorrow.
Okay. But we were co-creating, Carrie, and you can tell more about this as you introduce yourself in a minute. But Carrie is in our Train the Trainer program, and so he is really my collaborator, my cohort, and sometimes my complaining department lets me complain and get it off my chest. But one of the things that we created today is what our new program is going to be about. And as all things, when you start in a creative mode, things kind of just start to come to you or came to me. And I was thinking about who this group of people is and will become in the process of the 12 weeks of the training program. And I like to look at things from different perspectives, and one of them is from an energetic perspective that you can see me through this video in my physical shape and form, but what we can't see with our naked eye usually is how big our energy fields are expanding. And so we impact all the results in our businesses through whatever is in that field. So this was the thought that came to me, is that our program starting tomorrow and for the next 12 weeks is to help each and every one of us to create a new energy field. I mean, that's really what we're about in this program. And as I mentioned, that the new field is like putting in a new program into your computer. Like you've been producing the same results that you've been producing for whatever period of time, and you may be ready for something new. You may be starting a new career, you may be starting a new business, you may be adding a new product, a new service, or maybe you're just ready for some different results than what you've been creating. And all of that, if you can just envision, is in your energy field. So in order to impact a shift or a change, you have to shift what's in your energetic field. And that's one of the things that happens as we start going along in our 12-week SACAT program. And Carrie, I know you've been around for a while and you're, great testimony for results. We were talking about earlier this very concept, and you had brought up a couple of points that you saw about that, and I wondered if maybe you remember them or could share what we had talked about.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is one of the first shifts that I had to make was being in the software coaching consulting business and realizing that I preferred to work with people rather than with computers in law offices. So that shifted me, and this part Don will recognize, to becoming a passion test facilitator. And then in the process of doing that, I came across, through the synergistic quality of like-minded Jan and Alan Hickman, that that I decided to become a certified with the Strategic Attraction Plan. And that was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 3 years later. And the transformation, the change and growth for me has been on this kind of regular basis of something coming up, realizing a shift needed to make, and working on that individual stuff with myself that has brought me to this point where my interest is in supporting others to use this technique in their growth, as opposed to necessarily going out and finding people and just offering them the plan for them to use for themselves. So I don't know if that's
Perfect.
right.
It's perfect. It's totally perfect. I put Carrie on the spot a lot, so that was great. And the thing about strategic attraction planning, whether you're brand new to it or whether you're just hearing about it today for the first time even, is that it's been around for a while. Like I started the strategic attraction planning process over 20 years ago, actually. It was much more elaborate in the beginning, and it's become more condensed and more powerful. And there were some things that we learned along the way that we didn't know of what we had as part of the program and part of the actual usage of this strategic attraction plan. But one thing that has remained consistent is that even today, with all of the changes that have happened in the last 20 years, all the technological advances, all the new people, all the new gurus, all the people who have learned so much about marketing on the internet or attracting and marketing using social media, all those kind of things. In spite of all of it, this 5-step strategic attraction tool is still working. And it works every time. And the reason that it's still working is that it's not based on a thing. It's based on you and your relationship with yourself. And as we are all evolving and changing over time, we're becoming really more awake and aware to our individual desires, our individual wants that change over time. And the tool works with us as we change because, like I said, it's focused on relationship building. And so if you read any of my books, we describe the definition of sales and marketing to be building relationship. And the first person to build a relationship with is myself, because it is based on law of attraction.
And based on that idea of relationship, I'd like to know who 651 is.
Oh yeah, let me unmute. I'm muted them. Your line is open. So if you'd like to
Hi.
Is that Anne? You told me.
Anne Puglisi.
Okay. Hi, Anne. I thought that might be you. So welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi,
And,
Carrie.
Hey,
well, I'm going to invite you and Dawn to just do a quick introduction in just a second, but I'll let y'all continue to breathe the air for a minute before I put you on the spot. But
Okay.
so we're just kind of paving the way for a conversation about what attracted you to be here today. And I wanted to share with you what attracted me to be here is that the Strategic Attraction Coaching or Certification and Training Program has been a passion of mine. And those of you that are in the Passion Test program will relate to that. And when I was planning my business, I actually did a reboot on the business in 2013. I started it in the year 2000, and then I did kind of a push the restart button to rebrand, etc. And in 2013, I signed up for a very, very expensive coaching program. I mean, well, my first house probably cost about as much as this coaching program. So it was really quite expensive as you get the picture. And I only did that because I needed some help in rethinking, rebranding, reimagining my business. And I thought in that year, I think I'll do that high dollar coaching program. I like that. Somebody's going to pay me $30,000, and that's just like sounds like what I should do. So I opened the doors for my version of that high dollar program, and I had quite a few people sign up for it. And you know what I discovered is that at the end of that year, I was ready for my own program to be over. Like you might be in a program like that where you're ready for it to be over. And I knew that wasn't my right path, because the feeling inside of me wasn't really making me come alive, feel more empowered and more excited about the next one. And so I did a little talk with myself one day, and I said, well, in thinking back along my career since I started the business, at that point, 13 years ago, and when was I the happiest? When was I enjoying doing what I love the most? And when I reflected on that question for myself, it was an easy answer. What I enjoyed the most is my certification training program. And I have had several renditions of my certification program starting in the year 2001. I did my first program then, and then it got upgraded and reimagined. I mean, it's been evolving since I started the business. The first time I ever did the so-called SACAT program was in 2005. And I was coming out of a very what's the right word? Change-filled year. And my business partner that I started the business with, she had gone on her separate path. And I was going through a divorce personally, so that was a change. And then my daughter, who lived in Houston, where I lived at the time, also decided to move away. So I have empty nest syndrome. So I was hitting on all these big stressors, and I went into kind of a funk, I was depressed. And it was that year that Alan had come into my life. I mean, he had been a perfect customer, and he was introduced to me by Janet and Chris Atwood. And he came to one of my early trainings in 2001 and kind of went about his business and came back around for another training. And lo and behold, we kind of were drawn to each other. And he was around when my first partner departed and said, I'm here. I'm filling in wherever I need to fill in. He's, just kept me going. And interestingly enough, I got an email one day. I wasn't reading my emails. I was too funky to even read emails, but Alan was reading them. And he said, hey, there's somebody writing that loves the strategic attraction plan and wants to know if we have a training program for certifying her in this process. And I went, okay, that's nice. No, we don't. The very next day, I got another email, or we did, and he said, you won't believe it, but here's a second email making the same request. I'm like, okay. I'm like, tell him no, we don't have a program like this. Believe it or not, the very next day, we got an email, and then when we didn't respond to that email quick enough, she called the office. And she got Alan on the phone, fortunately, not me, and he said, let me talk to Jan, and I'll get back to you. And he says, okay, 3 days, 3 emails, 3 people wanting a certification training program, and they all lived in Houston. And I'm like, what are the chances, what are the odds that that could happen? And I said, respond back to them that I want to meet with them. And I met with each one of those women individually, and I said, I want to know why you want to be certified. Tell me why you went to the trouble to reach out to me. And each one of them had a vision to fill. And I'm all about fulfilling vision. I just happened to be in a funk. But they were my lighthouses, and that's what happens in our businesses, is that when we become really aligned with our mission, our purpose, what makes us tick, and we're working with the right relationships, then our people, our perfect customers start to bring back to us the very things that you've been giving them as a teaching. So that's the long-winded story of how SACAT got started. and that was in 2005. I did my very first alpha group with a group of 3 ladies. We sat around my kitchen table in Houston, Texas, and I don't think they realized that I had been in such a sad state, and they were truly bringing me forward. At least that's what they told me at the end. And but what happened is I saw that there was huge value in sharing the strategic attraction plan through other coaches and trainers. And I started the SACAT program, we call the Beta program, in January of 2006. And so this program has been ongoingly successful and reaching out to a lot of different people all over the world. We have people, in lots and lots of countries who have become certified, and you can too. So that's really the opportunity. I keep my prices very, very affordable so that as many people that want to be in it will never have to say, I can't afford it. And so I think you'll find just when you start to work with me, it used to be Jan and Alan, now it's just Jan. I'm just here to say, this is my legacy, this is my passion, this is my purpose. And yes, I will miss Alan in our journey this year, but he is not far away. So I don't know if you believe in angels or whatever you believe in, Alan is whispering probably in all of our ears, and that might have been what got you here. But I would love to hear from a couple of people of what got you here today. Just what were you drawn to? What are you attracted to? What is your vision, your passion, your purpose? And I'll call on Dawn and I'll call on Ann. And if y'all would be so brave as to share your input in that, I'd appreciate it greatly.
Ann, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were calling on Dawn first. Yes,
Yeah,
I'll go first.
Dawn, go first, and then Ann.
Dawn, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go, Dawn.
So I guess what brought me here is definitely I'm a passion test facilitator, and my vision has been going into the First Nation communities throughout Canada, but starting with where I live in the middle of Canada, Saskatchewan. And so I took the passion test for kids and teens, first of all, to be able to go into schools and be able to go to youth groups. And then I just found parents actually, that I met when I was at a dance, and they had kids that they just didn't know what to do with. And so I started meeting with their kids and kind of doing the family with these teenagers and their parents. And I could just see the difference it made in how they looked at themselves, and seeing that, wow, there was something that they were really interested in, and somebody who believed in them, somebody who said, what's your vision?
Yeah.
And we lost so many of the kids in First Nation communities. We've been losing them to suicide. And so I started from there, then took the passion test for business. But I think the strategic attraction plan has more specifics to what I'm looking for to be able to offer more. So when I go into a community, I can offer the youth one, the passion test for business, but also have the opportunity for some of these types of things to be able to offer as well. So that's what really attracted me.
That's great. That's great. That's so true, is that I tell people that the strategic attraction plan is a one size, one fits all kind of a deal, because it works with any kind of, any market, any kind of business. It doesn't matter if you're a whole team full of people or if you're just a solopreneur working on your own. It works inside of corporations. It works inside of entrepreneurships. And there's so many ways. I mean, you can use the strategic attraction plan. If you're a keynote speaker, you could use any of the 5 steps as a talk. If you're leading workshops, you can use the material in your own workshops. And then the other thing that I tell people is that I like to remind people that it's a creative process. And when you know what makes me tick, you'll understand why that's so important to me. what makes me tick, which is step 2 of the strategic attraction plan, is being voice of feminine spirit. And feminine spirit is all about intuition and creativity and flow. So what's important to me is that my process of strategic attraction is also creative. So I want people that are using it to be inventive, be creative. I'm not going to give you, I may give you a script, but I'm not wanting you to memorize it. I want you to bring your own gifts, talents, and skills and your own creativity and marry that with my tool and make it even better, make it all your own. And so it becomes not only adaptable for many, many situations, it becomes something that you can really own as yours. And so I'm a little different from other approaches, I think, because I want people to make it their own. I want them to really find their unique voice through the process and use it in that particular way. Yes, Carrie.
So I think Dawn and I have had this conversation a little bit before, but I resonate with her passion and interest with the First Nation because I've spent some time with our Native Americans out in Pine Ridge. And you're very right, Dawn. The passion test in terms of coming up with what your 5 top passions are has kind of a vague step to it. And it's, and it's good. Where the attraction plan comes in is more in the areas of creating markers. When you start to look at those details of what is it here, what is I want to accomplish, what is it that I want in this particular relationship, in this particular area. And so, I thought in terms of whether it's university kids or even younger, that sense of, okay, now you've got this interest, what are you going to do about it? And these 5 steps are like intelligent questions that require deep thought and can really bring out that goal of the passion, what the person is interested in, and move them forward. So very good. And I noticed your comment in the chat. Tomorrow's meeting is basically an introduction for the people that are coming. We'll get into kind of setting goals, what it is that people want to accomplish in the program. But it is 12 weeks, and they are all recorded. So if it's, there's a legitimate reason why you can't make that one with your traveling, but that doesn't prevent you from taking advantage of the other ones.
Well said, yeah. I just have to tell you, my cat really wanted to say hello, so I'm a cat lover now. And obviously I trained or named the program SACAT for a reason. So, all right. Well, thank you for that, Dawn. I really appreciate your introduction. And we'll get to questions in a minute if you have any. So.
Okay, just one thing I want to clarify. Is this 12 weeks every Tuesday at the same time? No?
It's actually every Wednesday, and it starts.
Oh, it'll be tomorrow, right?
It'll be tomorrow. So it's on Wednesdays. It's 12 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern. Okay.
Thank you.
And it's a 90-minute, and it's a Zoom video like we're on today. And so you can call in from a phone if you need to, or you're moving around. That's okay too. And they're all recorded, of course. So, all right. Anne Puglisi, also someone who's been with me many times. And so, Anne, how many times have you taken the program? Do you remember?
No, it's either 3 or 4. It's at least 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to the retreat 3 times.
Yes.
So 3 for sure.
Yeah. So what brought you here today?
I am in the process of being more clear. I've been looking for clarity for a long time. I like the way you set this up this time. It's time for me to do a SAP and bring my husband into it also. We are in business together now, and I love you. I love the community. I love being part of the group, and my husband says I need to make sure that I understand my priorities because he just retired, so that makes a difference in our lives. But I just love this community too much not to want to be part of this.
Aw, that's great. Yes, we love you back. So,
Thank you. Thank
very
you.
nice. And Ann, you know, I'll brag on Ann. Ann has led so many people through the strategic attraction plan, and she's very, very good at using it with her community. So let's get some more of that happening for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So
Part of the problem has been who is my community, so we'll work on that too.
that's been changing.
I'm narrowing that down also.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yes, it has. It's very definitely changing. Yep.
Well, that's a good point, you know, is that we do, you know, in the years that I've been in my own business, particularly, have many renditions of myself and programs, etc. And that's what happens is that we all are evolving over time, and this tool is always that go-to to go back to. We do a strategic attraction circle once a month. And as part of this program, I'm going to add that as a bonus. So if you're able to start or register for the program before tomorrow, then I'm going to include that. Normally we charge extra for that, but I'm going to include the Strategic Attraction Circle as part of our bonus. But in that, each month, after the class is done, we'll be honing using the Strategic Attraction Plan for ourselves. And we've been doing that this year with a group of people, and it's really getting fun. And you know what it does? It helps me to remember my own process, you know, because it brings it back around for me and how powerful this process is. And then we come back the next month and you hear the results and people are sharing, and it's really making things a lot better for all of us. All right. Well, Ann mentioned our retreat. I wanted to just mention as part of the training program, you have the option to attend a live and in-person retreat. We hold those. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the next one will be here. And it's June 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's an additional charge, not a whole lot, but there is a small additional charge of $297 to attend. And it's 2.5 days. And these are all very, very unique in that I custom design each one of the retreats to really be a fit for the attendees or the participants in the program. And so it could be about how to put together a product package. It could be how to speak in front of a room. It could be how to take your strategic attraction plan to the next level. And it could be a little bit of all of that. But I really customize these programs, and people have a lot of fun by attending. What do you think about the retreats, Carrie, that you like? You've been to quite a few of them. What do you get out of it?
What I get out of it is the first is that face-to-face ability to give and get a hug, and echoing Ann's comment about the family. You know that and Dawn. You know, this is very much like the Passion Test family, where it's like-minded people. It's people that have their own interest and passion and direction. So it's just always great to be in the circles, and you know, knowledge is great, but the camaraderie and the friendship and all of that is important too.
Yes. Yeah, well said. I mean, that's it. To give and get a hug. And we all know how important that personal connection is. And just, amazing things come out of these connections. I mean, we've had these retreats ongoingly for quite a while. But one of them that stands out for me is that two women met each other for the first time in person, and they were young at that time. They now both have children and everything. But one of them traveled to Italy to attend the other's wedding and was part of it. And now they both have children, and they share and they visit each other. So, it's that kind of a community that I'm all about community. And so it's important to me to have a community that people really enjoy being part of. It's really less about a program. I do start out calling you a customer, but I bet you somewhere along the way, that customer title drops away, and I will call you my perfect friend, because that's just kind of how it turns out. All right, so let me just speak to maybe some of what you might want to get out of the SACAT program. What I like people to do in the beginning of the program is to have an overarching goal for the program. What we can't account for are the strategic synchronicities, all the many, many miracles that show up inside of having a powerful intention, a powerful goal. And, 12 weeks commitment doesn't fit into anybody's schedule, period. That's just it. And the power comes from creating yourself to be larger and more expanded than you are without the program. And so in order to be in the program, you have to expand. You have to get yourself larger than what's on your to-do list, larger than the world you've created. And just in the act of signing up and getting all the classes onto your calendar and making that commitment to attend is life expanding. And that's what the program is about, is that we need to expand versus contract. If we're trying to contract after a program, or maybe we're trying to keep all the things on our calendar that we already had, and we'll say, well, I can't be at this one, I can't be at that one. Well, you can do it that way. You can do it that way. Or the opportunity is to expand and let yourself expand so that you can have all of it. It's not like an either or at any point in time. You don't have to choose between this or that. All you have to do is expand larger than your to-do list and get to the place where you feel that possibility exists that is big enough to warrant you doing that. Because what I found in many, many conversations that I have with people where they're grappling with this thing or that thing and that sort of thing, what's really happening is they don't have their vision set large enough. It's too small. And so that's what I invite people to do is create a big vision for yourself, one that you have no idea how to fulfill on by yourself. If you know how to fulfill on your vision by yourself, I would probably assert that it's probably a little too small. What you're going to need and what the SACAT program provides to you is a structure. 12 weekly calls, same time, same place, the same group of people, all doing the same thing, committing to be in the process, be in a structure of expansion. And then you're learning material that is going to cause you to think in a new way. And that's really what's at the heart of it, is that we need to remember the field we were talking about in the beginning of the call. Our energy field, for example, let's say you're wanting more sales. The sales that you're getting now is a result of the energy field that you have currently. So if you want more customers or more sales, your field has to open larger. It has to be programmed for you to receive sales. And so in the beginning, you might start to notice a little kind of like a drip in a faucet, you know, where gradually a little drip of water comes out. Maybe what happens for you as a potential client shows up. That's happening inside of your field. And that's what we call strategic synchronicity. And that's the subtitle of the first book that I wrote, Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And the theory behind this subtitle is that when I have a strategy, a strategic plan, which a strategy to me is how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And that's what the strategic attraction plan is. When you have a strategy and you start to apply it into your field, into your awareness, into your consciousness, then, and when you attend these classes, you start to have a higher vibration. And so what wasn't possible before starts to become possible. And that vibration is not as easy to obtain by yourself. You may be able to get to a certain level by yourself, but it's the group dynamic that raises the vibration of everyone on the call to become more accessible, to radiate out our signal further so that we can start to attract. And then the strategy that we're learning about is there to give you clarity and focus on what's perfect for you. And by virtue of that strong intention and the goals that you're setting, miracles start to happen, momentum starts to be built, and you should be able to reach beyond where you're reaching currently in the way you're doing it. So that's kind of like my theory on what happens when you come to the program. And so, you know, some of the things that fall away is struggle, dis-ease. You know, I actually, in the last promotional call that we had, I shared personally that the strategic attraction plan is a healing tool. Like, it will surface the very thing that is up for me to clear away. And that's good because it promotes a healing. And it could be the very thing that's keeping you from having exactly what you want. So it's a healing tool. It's a business tool. It's a stretching expansion tool. And it's a clear thinking. It gets me to think in a way that I haven't been thinking before. So it becomes like a visionary. It's a creative tool, as we've already mentioned. And so this is kind of the world you'll be dipping your toe in, and then ultimately you'll be jumping in the middle of the pool and swimming all around in it, and just amazing things start to happen as a result. So that's kind of the completion of what I wanted to say today, but I do want to open the floor up. If anybody has a comment or a question or anything you heard that kind of like stood out for you, I'd love to hear about that.
What I heard was creating the big vision for myself and having the overarching goal. I'm really looking forward to that and to having the help from the process and the group to reach that, to create that vision.
Good. Yes, very well. Very good.
I really liked to hear about the energy field and creating myself larger than my to-do list. I always go to the to-do list, and then it's the time that's left over. You know, and getting this business going, I will enjoy getting into a new schedule of my time in a day in being able to create this larger self.
Yes. I just repeat after me. I am not my to-do list. And I am not
my to-do
what
list.
I got checked off today. That is really not what I am. So, and that's good because I have to-do lists to do to-do lists. So, very good. Did you notice anything new or anything stand out for you, Carrie?
Basically, what stood out for me was realizing that the goal for me in this is that by the end of this, I can be certifying people in going through the attraction plan. That's my big goal that's expanding beyond me.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, because Kerry's in the Train the Trainer program, and he's seeing the behind the scenes, of what goes on to produce a program like this. And, life doesn't stop. It just continues on. And in other words, okay, so I want to produce a program, but I still have a life. Like I found out yesterday, well, 2 days ago, that I have to be out of my house. My house is sold, and I have to be out of it by May 15th.
Oh my God, Jan. Oh my God.
So let's just turn the volume up a little bit. There's just, life keeps going, and I need these kind of things to keep me expanding, not contracting. And so that's what will happen in the next 12 weeks. Things will come up and opportunities to expand. And if you'll use the SACAT as your expansion community, keep you growing and playing large, then you'll really, really expand exponentially and getting ahead with what you have in your vision. And what is your legacy to bring forward? That's what's propelling all of us, is that we have a reason behind this. It's our legacy, and it's our job to fulfill on that legacy. Like, I really see that each one of us is a hero, and that as a hero, we're greeting one another. We're seeing the hero in each other. And this is not the way the world works. When you walk into your grocery store, they don't say, hero walked in the door. So this is where we come to refuel. We come to reflect to one another our greatness, our brilliance, and who we are meant to be in the world. And then we can go out into our worlds and do the things that we're really here for. And that's, part of my joy, to be able to have these kind of opportunities for people to do that. So.
And we have someone that has joined us, Jan.
Yes, we do. So welcome. It looks like Donna has joined us, and would love for you to say hello if you feel like it. We're kind of coming to the completion of our call today, but this is all being happily recorded, and I can provide this to each of you after the call. But here's my invitation, is register for the SACAT program. Put yourself in if you're ready for that exponential growth, that expansion. If you're ready for a team of people that keeps you going beyond where you are playing now, and you're really ready, this is a good place to do it. And I'm highly skilled and effective at producing miracles and results in people's lives. And you can ask Carrie, you can ask Ann, they've been around a while. You can even ask Janet and Chris Atwood. I know some people here know them quite well. Janet actually took one of my early certification programs before the Passion Test really got launched. So we played with top CEOs. We played with the A-listers, people that are so popular these days. And $1 million businesses have been born. If that's what you're up to, this is a good foundation for building that. If you're up to just making a difference in the world, then you're going to be hanging out with the right people in the SACAT program. That's my invitation. Let's just all make a difference and an impact and a ripple. Our world needs heroes like us. And so we go off on the journey holding our hands together. And you don't have to be, you don't have to have the Wonder Woman cuffs to do this. You just have to have the courage. And yeah, Donna, thank you for your chat. She got caught in traffic. So yes, we'll make sure you get a recording, everybody, and we'll send that out this evening before tomorrow.
So Jan, if somebody wants to register.
Okay, good point, Carrie. Yeah, the best way is to go to perfectcustomers.com. That's my website. And I have a brand new one, so happy for you to go there. And if you'll look on the home page, there's 3 buttons. I call them buttons or boxes. And right in the middle is a red one, and it click here for SACAT, takes you to the information and the registration page. Or you can just call me. And my phone number is 505 795 5100, 505-795-5100, and I'm standing by the lines to receive your call. You may want to ask a question or just clarify something for you, so you've got my number. If you want to shoot me an email, it's jan@perfectcustomers.com. And that's plural, jan@perfectcustomers.com. So just, don't hesitate. Don't even think about it. Just make this happen, and I will support you in every way I can to have great success. I give way more value. Everybody will agree to that. There's a lot more value. I have the time and the dedication to the program and to the people in it. So you're my priority. And in that you're not in Santa Fe, you don't have to come pack any boxes. But I will expand my being to be able to not only lead our SACAT brilliantly and perfectly, I will pack up my house and find a new place, and it'll be even better. So
that reminds me that actually before I signed up for the SACAT, I had 2 probably 1.5 to 2 hour long laser coaching sessions with Alan before I signed up. And so that comment of more value, it's not like taking an online course where you sign up and then you get the recordings and that's it. That was one of the key reasons to be involved, was that there was the personal one-on-one opportunity and time, and that's definitely something that I will continue to promote in my coaching activities. So that's my goal, is to be doing small one-on-one workshops rather than being on stage in front of thousands of people and giving that fire hose of knowledge that only less than 1% of the people actually use. I'd rather give all kinds of knowledge that small people use, or not small, individual people use a lot of, rather than a lot of knowledge that very few people use.
yes.
Is that right?
Whoa. Okay, great. All right. So are there any questions before we complete for today? All right, well, listen. Okay, here's my heartfelt. Just thank you. I really honor you for being here today and taking time. And I look forward to hearing from you. Just let me know how I can support you in your journey. And if this is your next step, I know you are clear about that. And if you are, I'm ready to speak with you or answer your questions, whatever you need. And so thank you. Thank you for who you are in the world and who you're being. I know you're extraordinary just because you showed up for today or you're watching the recording. So thank you so much. And I look forward to playing with you on the big energy playing field. And we'll meet there in the middle. So bye for now. And thanks so much for coming.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.